move on to the rest of the presentation. This gentleman back here.
I have two questions. One of my concerns, I think I said this a while back when y'all first meeting. One of my concerns is I know that y'all value the house very expensive.
You know what now?
The homes are getting valued, like the gentleman saying, twice what the other homes and people existing living in. My question is, how about the other homes that y'all fixing around that say that the homeowner continues to let the house stay there, but y'all building around making that other house more expensive? And my second question concerning that is the resale value of the possible home that you're selling for $100,000. My question is, suppose someone decides to leave or want to get to a bigger house, what would the value, the resale value that person could possibly have in the area right there, say if he wanted to upgrade and move somewhere else?
I have no idea. I have no idea. And nobody else in this room has any idea what that house is going to sell for. I can make up a number, but I have no idea what a house that's sold for $150,000 or $100,000 a day is going to sell for 4 or 5 years from now. I would think that it probably would sell for more because the area is being built up, but I'm not going to give you a number on that. In answer to your first question relative to, how the development affects an existing homeowner whose home value may increase, I think that's what you're asking. And as a result of that, the potential that their taxes might increase. One of the things we have going for us here in the Laney Walker and the Bethlehem neighborhoods is that we're in an area where you can abate payment on taxes for 5 years if your property increases. And then for the next 5 years, after the first 5 years, it increases at the rate of 20% a year. That is unique to this area. And that is one of the things that we took in consideration as we were developing this project. That we knew that I'm building a house at 1228 Pine Street. If there's someone next to me at 1226 Pine Street, that my value is going to affect their value. So how can we protect them from, as an elderly homeowner perhaps, being able to continue to afford that house with no mortgage payment on it, but they may have taxes? And that's because it's a tax abatement that's effective in this area. That's a very important feature.
But that hasn't been passed by the Augusta Commission, and it would have to be.
Well, it's been passed by the Augusta Commission, but I may have misunderstood that. I may have misrepresented that, rather. If there's a new homeowner coming in,
it's going to take a lot to get that done.
If there's a new homeowner coming in, that tax abatement accrues to the new homeowner, not to the existing homeowner. Is that correct, Chester?
Excuse me, can I just address one thing about the appreciation? My name is Gail Moore. I'm with Avon Realtors. Been in the business 14 years. I can tell you that the question about appreciation, we can't answer for anybody anywhere. It's not just exclusive to that area. I just had a refinance on my house last year, and this year I had them look at the value again. They gave me like $50,000 less from last year. Okay, so it's happening everywhere. So that's what he's speaking about. It's not just Heritage Farm. If we could answer that question, we wouldn't be here as far as appreciation. Okay.
One more question, please. Yes, ma'am.
I live on Brown Street, and when I first come to Augusta, the house that I'm still in, and my daddy came down and bought it. Then just spent me and my husband, we were married 65 years, and he just died a couple of years ago. And they bricked it up, added on 4 rooms, 3 bedrooms, living room, dining room, kitchen, big den, 2 full baths, and you got empty houses all the way back up to the railroad track on both sides. And when they closed up Gilbert Manor, it was pathetic. It's pathetic. And I don't know what the police are waiting on or what they're doing that they can't you can't sit on the porch. All you can hear is profanity. Children playing in the street. I think I got some people in here that live pretty close around. Now Holly Street is all but the same.
Yeah, now, to be honest, ma'am, I don't have an answer to the question. I don't have, and the reason why I don't have an answer to that question is because we are living in a neighborhood, and we have an office in the same neighborhood that's undergoing transformation. It's undergoing a transition. Some of the areas are going to come around sooner and quicker than others. There's no question about that. Others are going to take some time. The area where you live out on Brown Street, Antioch Baptist Church and Antioch CDC is actively working in that area. I would suggest that you have an opportunity, take an opportunity to talk to Sir Lance Scott, who is executive director of that area. I know he is acquiring property in and around Brown Street, and he's trying his darndest really to bring that area back and make it a safe place to
I
live.
don't know of any of them.
Great. So you probably know some land.
Let me ask you a question, if I may.
If it's quick.
It's quick.
Yes, sir.
How did the area get to be in a area where you build $100,000 houses, and then the houses around you is not even qualified? How did you come about that kind of building project, and the houses around in this area was not that kind of money?
Okay, that's a very good point. Here's why that decision was made. The whole strategy behind this Laney Walker Bethlehem redevelopment project is to upgrade the neighborhood, and we think we can do that without adversely affecting people who currently live in the neighborhood now. One of the ways you do that is by increasing home ownership in the neighborhood. When we looked at information relative to this community, you have in Laney Walker, the home ownership was in the range of about 30%. So that means that 7 out of every 10 properties were renter. We looked in Bethlehem, it was worse than that. The only way that you can stabilize neighborhoods is with good property, bringing good property back into the neighborhood. Okay, and so one of the ways we're doing that is building new homes. It's very expensive to build new construction. And I can tell you this without going into a lot of detail, that we may be selling the house for $100, but I can tell you it's costing us significantly more than that to build a house, and we're not passing that on to the buyer. So, in order to get the kind of construction that everybody is raving about, that you like to see on Pine Street and other places, it costs a lot of money to do that. We're only getting a fraction of that back in terms of sales price, and what we're getting back in terms of sales price, we're subsidizing to help it make it more affordable. And so, we have an active program in place to work with existing homeowners if they want to work with us to help them invest in their property, or small investor owners. And so I just encourage you to stop by and see us at Mr. Willer's office or either at my office, and we will help you kind of figure out how to do that.
They're not building brick houses. I have everything wood.
Yes, ma'am, because if we try to build a brick house, with some of the features that we have in that, we just couldn't afford it. I'm going to stop right here and turn it over to Mr. Mark. You'll have an opportunity to ask some more questions toward the end of our presentation.
This one is germane specifically to you, and that is, what is your commitment post-construction to the neighborhood? So 5 years from now, when all this is done, where will you be and what will your agency be doing as far as keeping abreast of what's going on and whether or not you're meeting the goals that you had set?
Well, the idea, we are evaluated every month on the goals that we have set. I can tell you that. Every single month. Every week, we have to submit a report relative to our goals and what we've done in the past week. So we're evaluated daily. Every project area in which we are developing, beginning with Heritage Pine, there is a neighborhood association set up. It costs $50 a year to be a part of that association. So basically, it's free. That association is providing technical assistance by our staff and by the city staff on how to operate as a successful neighborhood association. How to form, we had a meeting with them just 2 or 3 weeks ago. How to form a block club, how to form a police watch, what to look out for in your neighborhood, how to protect your neighborhood. So what we're trying to do is build capacity among the existing homeowners and the new homeowners so they can take care of their own neighborhood. It's really not about our firm or even the city being a part of this forever. It's really about putting in place good housing, good neighborhood practices that allow people to be able to have the capacity to defend and take care of their own neighborhood. That's our objective.
But when you have already existing...
You have to hold that question, ma'am.
Okay.
As I indicated earlier before we started, if you bear with me, please bear with me. bear with me if I can get your attention. We have one more segment of the presentation, and the last segment, as I indicated, is questions and answers. So I'm going to ask Patty McIntosh, who's with Malabar McIntosh, to come up and she'll talk to you about just marketing and different techniques that we're actually doing to be sure that we infiltrate the Lady Walker Bellingham project, not only to purchase it locally, but via web, pretty much via the state, as well as via other parts across the country. So I'm asking her to come up now, if you would. And then after that, we'll have questions and answers.
Thank you, Hawthorne. My name is Patty McIntosh. I'm with Malabar McIntosh, and my business partner, Martin Malabar, and we are charged with communicating about this project, doing some marketing and branding for the project, telling the story about the project. Before I get into that, I just want to mention a couple events that are coming up. The January regular quarterly meeting, we are going to have an annual meeting, and this will give you an opportunity to interact more with the staff, to learn more about the projects that are going on, to hopefully start celebrating what's going on in this community. I know there are a lot of really good questions out there, some tough questions, and those will continue to come, but I think it's also time to start